So oftentimes with percents, the reason they're used a lot in business, and you'll hear people say something like, "Now 30% off," or "It's only 10% extra," or something like that. So let's talk about that. Let's say you heard that something was 30% off, and the original price was, say, $250. So I'm going to show you two ways to think about that. One way is kind of in your head. You could know that 30% is 3 times 10%, right? So 3 times 10%, right? And 10% is really easy to find. You just divide by 10. Dividing 250 by 10, that gives me 25. And since there's 3 of them, it would be 25 times 3, 25 times 3, which equals 75. So 30% of 250 is 75. So that makes sense. The other thing I want to say about that is that's the discount, right? So if I wanted to find the actual amount I have to pay, if something is 30% off, I would have to take 250 and subtract 75, and that would give me 175. Or I could take 100% and subtract 30%, and so then I would be finding 70% of 250. And I could do it the same way. I could say 10% is 25, 25 times 7 is 175. So either technique gives me 175. Now, the other way I could find 30% of something is recognize that 30% is the same as the decimal 0.30, 30 out of 100, which is the same as 0.3, 3 out of 10. And then knowing that of essentially means multiply, then 30% of 250 is the same problem as 0.3 times 250. Now you can do that by hand, right? You can say 250 times 0.3, multiply, you get 750, but since you're multiplying with a decimal, you move the decimal point over and get 75. Or if you're allowed to use a calculator, you can do 200, let's clear this again, 250 times 0.3 equals 75. So that will give you the same result. Now, the reason why the calculator technique is nice is if you have a problem like this. 67.5% of 2,164, in which case it's way hard to do this in your head to say, okay, 67% is 60% plus 7% plus 0.5%, and let's see, 10% of 2,064 is, okay, who wants to do that? But if we change 67.5% into the decimal 0.675, then the problem becomes 0.675 times 2,164, right? Let me use the x instead of times simply because I don't want the dot. So 0.675, clear, 0.675 times, I can't even remember the number, 2164 gives me 1,460.7 equals 1,460.7. So that's a way to use a calculator to find the percent of a number. So turn the number into a decimal, multiply, you get your result. And that's a very common way to use